Welcome to Common Hood. This your host, Simon P. And I have my man, Kevin. But today we have a special guest, Mr. Elgen Carelock.
How are you?
The founder of RE-View Your Business. You can go to .com with that one. He's a business strategist focused on helping business owners reduce burden and operational exhaustion. Never heard of that particular thing. That's a unique position you have there.
All right.
Creator of Order Framework, passionate about helping entrepreneurs build a business that create freedom, clarity, and service instead of constant pressure. Ouch. I do feel you with that one.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain your core meaning.
Well, it's that as entrepreneurs, many times we're exceptional people, right? If you think about it, only 14% of people will ever consider the idea of running a business of their own. So the ones that do are exceptional. And the very thing that makes them successful.
Thank you. I tried it.
Right?
He's still in it. He's still in it when he's talking about trying it.
But it's the same thing that builds the trap.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're exceptional, there's a lot of things you can do, but more importantly, there's a lot of things you shouldn't do.
Right.
You do it because you can, but you shouldn't do it. And so I try to help entrepreneurs understand that every day you're doing something that doesn't move the company forward, moves the company backwards.
Right. And that brings me to how you explained it as I was getting the chance to get a feel for you. You said, I help business owners start being bottlenecked in their business.
Yep.
So as I thought about that bottleneck experience, where it's choking it out, where you feel like that 14% say, I've had enough.
That's right.
It's easy to go get the job.
It is.
It's too damn hard to build a team.
Yeah, it is.
I'm tired of dealing with people. It's a lot of different factors.
Yes.
So I definitely understand that bottleneck. I hear him. You go through it all the time.
All the time. Still going through it to this day.
Yeah, you go through that a lot with your handyman services and especially. Yeah, so you go through that a lot. It's a continuous thing. You need to see him after this.
Well, I've already seen him, so it's all good.
Okay, I'm just making sure because you out there. So when a business owner is feeling burned out, starts the pressure cooker, today we're going to go ahead first to give you the steps for being overworked to becoming a strategic owner, a boss that works on top of his or her business and not in the business when you're catching that bottleneck. That bottleneck. What inspired you to create
The order system?
The order system. ORDER with a period after each one, if those of you remember your acronyms.
That's right. So it was a conversation I was having with my son. And he says, Pop, when we were little, you were gone a lot. And I said, yeah. He said, yeah, you worked a lot. He said, now, don't get me wrong. Every major thing you were there for. Every graduation, every football game, every baseball game. But you were gone a lot. And so I began to think about that. And I realized that I didn't teach him how to roller skate. I didn't teach him how to ride a bike. I didn't teach him how to swim. Because I was at work. I was always working. But I made sure I was at the big things. But what he was saying to me is that even though I was there for the big things, there were a lot of little things that he wished I was there for too.
Yeah.
So I made the decision that I was going to create a system so that no one else had to have that conversation. Right? I mean, I have a great relationship with my son. Matter of fact, we'll be at the house this weekend so we can cook Mom a dinner for Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day.
Absolutely.
Kudos and happy Mother's Day to all that are out there.
That's right.
It's 2026.
But I just want to make sure that people know that you can have a successful business and not give up your life.
I like that. My dad, everybody's dad, experienced that same experience. My daddy did it with a job, and in his 80s, I heard my dad say, son, I apologize for not giving you time. So my first 5 years, I was basically kept by my mother, and my mother was able to be a stay at home until others came.
Sure.
And when I left 17, at 18, when I joined the military, I said that, Dad, I'm leaving because I'm tired of babysitting.
Well, if you think about the typical dad, we remember our kids in jumps, right?
Mhm.
3, 9, 12, because we're out doing things we're supposed to do. Whereas mom, she could tell you every tooth, every she because she's there more often. And so once again, it's nothing more than just saying, hey, the parts in between are where you really get to know who your friends and family are because you're actually there.
Yeah.
Right. It's great that we can give them these things, and from time to time help family members out financially, and we take trips and things of that nature. But quality of life, as we get older, we begin to understand that it's not about things.
No.
Yeah, it's not about things.
And we all get caught up with it and trying to find that balance when you decide to become part of the 14%.
Sure.
Normally for me, when I decided, it was about I wanted more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After I reached a couple of times and caught the bottleneck experience, I had a couple of events happen that made me kind of just want to step back and reassess things.
Sure.
And in reassessing things, I want to do it differently than not they being the bottleneck experience, because I feel like it was a bottleneck experience. And I like how I'm just going to read some of the things you had mentioned that remind you of a bottleneck experience. Don't be offended, Cap. I don't know if he was talking about you.
So don't start no more.
But he definitely was talking about me back in the day here. It says you feel like you are constantly putting out fires.
Yes. That's your first warning sign.
That's your first warning sign. Overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely.
I know you know about that one.
Definitely. 100%.
Drowning in administration. You got to cut the payroll.
Yeah.
You got to pay the insurance bills. You got to cut the paychecks.
File your state annual report. POI report.
You got all
do that now.
Bank do something wrong, you got to go do that. But you late.
Nah, it's all right.
Yeah, you late.
It's all right.
You late.
Still got that gap. It's like May 14th. I got to live there.
I thought it was May 1, but
no,
I may be wrong. But maybe you registered somewhere else, like in Wyoming or something.
Yeah.
But I know in Florida it's supposed to be May 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But another burden is every decision.
That's one that gets most.
That's one I wanted to stop on right there with you.
Yes.
Because when you're growing and I have a situation with my partner, he's a very intelligent young man trying to build something real significant. But his skill set is so technical.
Sure.
That he got the bottleneck experience. He's the only one that really knows how to make it happen.
Right.
To his expectations.
Right.
But big time idea.
So understand.
How do you handle that? How do you graduate to every decision where I can?
So the order system was designed to first organize your clock, right? People don't manage their time very well. And then the second one is to realize what makes you successful. So that person that has that real technical experience, if he took the time to write down why it comes out the way that he wants it to, then he'd have the ability to build a playbook and hand that playbook to someone else.
Okay, so
playbook.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And
only
that's why football worked that way.
Yeah.
They all got playbooks.
Yeah.
Okay, and owning your. Let's go back to owning your clock. That was
Yes.
the first one you said.
Sure.
With owning your clock, I go by my experiences, and Cal, you might can share yours. Sometimes I be all over the place.
Most are.
And I think that's that income level from 0 to about maybe 200,000, 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
You be all over the place
Sure.
because you really just trying to build it,
Make it happen.
trying to make it happen.
Right.
But when I think of the order, I think about, should I have spent more time working on the playbook before I ever started?
Most definitely. Because the way you can tell a company or a founder that doesn't have systems, they always talk about how hard they work.
Yeah.
Because if you're working hard, then you don't have a plan.
You don't have a plan.
You don't.
You don't have a plan.
You just have habits.
So-
Things that when I do this, and I do this, money come. So that's not a plan.
That's not.
That's a response.
That's a response.
So as soon as something changes, that's why 55% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years, because they didn't have a plan. They just got something that started working. And then as soon as one component stops, how do you backtrack to find out where it went off?
Yes.
You don't.
It's it makes you retry. I had to go through that same experience.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped in. It was just making money. Then it stopped making a lot of money.
Sure.
And then boom.
Yeah.
I had the event. Boom, another event. Boom, another event. At that point, I was like, shh. Now it's funny. I am building a plan. I am paying for the services to make sure that it's not all on me.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing. It's not all on me.
I got to piggyback off that, because the reason why I say that is because I've been in business for almost 10 years now, right? Basically 7 years with one and 10 years with another one, right? Different companies. The order thing came out just from you recently. Sure. that I've learned about. But by the grace of God, I've been in business that long. Mm-hmm. And basically I think it's because of my the way I am. Basically I probably put stuff in order, but not quite like you said.
Sure.
And I think that you said most businesses fail in a certain amount of time because
first 5 years. I thought it was 2 years.
But it's first 2 years. I believe it's first 2 years. If you not have organization, I think because I have organization in my mindset and my skills that I have, I think it's breathing mainly God, but breathing my business has lasted so long because of and I do work hard in them. When you say work hard, I get it. But the organization thing, I think that comes over very well what you bring to the table. Because anybody that is in business definitely want to lighten the plate, lighten the load.
So let me clarify that just a little bit. I said if you are working hard, you don't have a plan.
Right.
Your plan can involve hard work.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So I just want to get a little clarity on that.
That's right.
I want to make sure that people do know that just because you have a business, keep working hard in your business, but it make your light lower.
But it doesn't become hard, right? Because if we had an elephant on our plate, right, and I said we got to eat this elephant,
right?
If you bit the leg and then bit the ear and then bit the trunk, won't be long before you say, man, it's going to take forever.
Yeah, right.
But if I sat down with a diagram and I showed you that every 30 minutes, we're going to take a bite this big.
Right.
And in 17 months, that elephant will be gone. It's just working.
I got you.
It's not hard work. It's a lot.
Right.
But I know exactly every day I eat that little square.
Right.
17 months, that elephant gone. So your mindset changes.
Yeah.
It's no longer a problem. Yeah. It's just executing.
I get it.
Yeah, you just kind of broke down order.
Yeah.
Off that one analogy.
Yeah.
Because when you said owning your clock time, by creating that plan, you gave a time on each day, we're going to eat this amount of parts of the day. That's owning your time.
Yeah.
It is.
That's owning your time.
I'll give you an example. I have a young lady now I'm working with. She's just finishing in order. And next year, she's going to make 40% more than she makes this year, working 7 hours a week less.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just by organizing. And she sat there just shaking her head. She just couldn't understand how she's making, like I said, almost 40% more.
Right.
Working less.
Now, when you say the playbook, which is the second one, or in order, is that like your business plan?
No, it's a step beyond that, right? Because unlike a business plan's purpose is only to raise money. Right? You run your company off a strategic plan. Business plan is only for raising money.
Okay.
And so what a playbook does is it combines the two. So now I know not only what I'm going to do, I know why, and I know how it's going to produce for me. And so that way, all I have to do is hire competent people. I don't have to have necessarily what their resume says. I know that in order to execute these things right here, you have to be a person of this personality. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm just going to keep just let them cycle through until I find it. Oh, that one.
Delegation.
And I haven't read a resume in 20 years, right? Because I just need you to have the acumen to do what I need done. But if I don't know that, then...
I got frustrated with the cycle through.
Really?
I got frustrated when the cycle through what I had. I finally started doing them on. And that was a mistake.
So what you do though, even like if you put an ad on Indeed, what I do is I put 5 questions.
Right.
And how you answer those questions determine if we even see face to face. So if I'm seeing you then I know you have the basis or the foundation of what I need.
On what you look.
And now I just need to know that I like you.
Yeah.
Because I'm bringing you into my culture.
Right.
So I can't have somebody I can't get along with, even though your business acumen may be necessary to get what I need done. I can't walk in the office and be like, oh, here you go. Right? Can't do it.
Are the 5 questions pertain to industry? That one being, do you change those 5 questions, or that's kind of
they're static. They're pretty static.
Okay.
Because what you want to know is again how they process, right? Like for example, I would ask somebody, CEO, we just hired an executive assistant for her. I says, so what kind of cars do you have? She told me the car. I said, when you made a decision for that car, was it between this and one other? And she said, yes. And I said, so what was the determining factor? And then I just listened.
Right.
And I could tell right then, they either fit or they don't. Yeah.
So would you say that, so we have a cleaning side of the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife. And so in our cleaning side of the business, we have a contract with a major company here in Gainesville, but you have the background checks, right? And so each person that she has to hire, she has to make sure they don't have any thefts, they don't have any type of things on their background, right? So she get good people. She'll interview them and be like, oh, this person's great. I said, well, the major factor is the background check and see if they have anything on their background. So we'll ask them up front, do you have any background? Oh, no, we're good. Do the background check. They go back 30 years. We had this happen just today, actually. She called me up a little while ago. She said, they went back 30 years on this lady. And this lady works for Meridian. She works for the Village. She's had back, because some companies only go 7 years back.
Most.
Okay.
For clean?
These people, Butler Plaza, actually. I shouldn't say no. Cut that when you cut that out of there. The Butler Plaza thing. But you got that neat? All right, cool. But we have a contract with them.
Okay.
But we do the background checks with them. They go back years, bro. They don't just go back 7. So we having a problem hiring people because they don't have a background per se, but they go back all those years. They might have had someone in their younger ages, but dog, how do you expect us to have employees working for us if you go back that long and then you deny us to have our own people? And so I told my wife, I said this today, this is the order thing too, what you're talking about.
Yep.
I told my wife, I said, now we hold $2 million of liability insurance. Our people is our people. But we still have to make sure that we understand their law, their rules, and stuff like that. I said, but everything's still on us. If something happens, it's still on us. So we should have a right to say who we want to hire, basically. And so she's going through it right now. So she calls me ripping the raven. I gotta have people. I do a lot of traveling too.
Yep.
I gotta have people. And if I don't get these people in place, guess what? I'm not going to be able to go with you. I'm not going to be able to do this. I said, calm down. We're going to be all right. We're going to be okay. Don't worry about it. But every single time they run these background checks, they go more than 7 years back.
Sure.
Sure. Which it's causing us problems. Really.
So what I would do, I mean, again, remember, I'm a strategist for a living. When I'm time to re-up the contract, I would just ask, okay, so in order for me to have the staff that I need to have people that work the way we work, right? And so what I want to offer you is a bond. So anybody that has any type of background that would be in a category that you would be concerned with, I will put a surety bond, right? Anything they still break will be covered.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful situation. Now that I have that information, I'm going to take it to the next level.
Yeah,
I get it. And it's been kind of a pain in my butt, put it that way.
Sure.
To be
now the guys for a little minute.
Yeah, the guys, the people that I hire from my other side of the companies, I really don't care what they do.
Sure.
Because it is what it is. They're all 1099, and I understand giving people second chances. But when you have a person that's like over something like that, and they always looking and they being sticklers over certain things, it's hard to be able to move strategically in what you're trying to do.
So just imagine when I was in the mall business, we have between 35 and 55 for a mall as small as the one in Ocala. Mall size of the Oaks Mall, maybe 100, 150.
Right.
Now you think you're going to find 150 $12 to $18 an hour workers with no record.
Exactly.
There's no such.
Exactly.
There's no such,
exactly.
Right? And so that's why we use those kind of techniques to say, listen, because guess what? A $50,000 bond might cost you $500.
Oh yeah.
So it's just say, listen, I'll bond anybody you concerned about, and it'll never fall back to you. But I got to have the kind of person that's going to let me do the level of work you're asking me for.
Exactly. And that's we have great people that has signed up, has went through the background check, and they definitely will be the right people.
Yep.
They're in the cleaning business. They do it. I mean, in other companies they work for, you with Shands Hospital.
Sure.
You would think they would get hired at Shands if that was the case. But Shands only go back 7 years or sometimes even 5 years. That's it. But 30 years back, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
That's a bit severe.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's a bit severe.
And that's for a cleaning job.
Yeah,
that is very severe.
Yeah.
On your third step, develop systems.
And so systems really are the why, right? You make money. Why? Because we do this. Why? Because we do it better than everybody. Well, we'll make sure it's different. Why we do this, right?
Why?
And all that stuff's getting written down.
Right.
And that's where the playbook comes from. Because now there's a system. And guess what? We are all system thinkers to different levels. If I followed you into your kitchen for 2 straight days, maybe 3 straight days, I guarantee you the way you wash dishes is the same way every time. You wash the silverware first, then your cups, then your plates, then everyone has systems.
Yeah. Everybody has a system.
But for some reason, we don't carry that into the business.
Got you.
So let's do an example. If let's say I want to open a rental car agency, and my why is in this current situation, cars are more inflated than they normally would be.
Sure.
People are keeping cars a little bit longer. People are deciding that, hey, I can just rent a car when I need to travel out no more and to save my car. Some more people are keeping their cars older. So my why is to fill that void and to have my experience. Every time I go to Enterprise, there's sometimes I will plan a trip and they tell me I'm out of a vehicle. And I'm like, wait a minute, that was my reservation. This is the wrong time to tell me this. And this is my reservation.
Sure.
But I get it. First come, first serve. Somebody else extended this particular car much longer and we just made a decision.
Yep.
So what kind of system would you recommend if I was to get into that business on how to
well, and what you alluded to, some of it just then, right? You named the pain point. I got there, I had this vehicle, and they had something else, right? So the first system is how to make sure that my customers, when they pick the truck, get the truck. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So somewhere their system's off, right? Because it got because if you're overcommitting, even if someone extends and you thought it would be back, it should not be available to you on the website until it is physically in their possession. So there's the system, right? So now I can avoid that because what you hear when you get there is, we thought. Well, I don't need you to think. I need you to produce that truck. Okay.
So I had been looking at how you handle your third part with systems totally different. I had been thinking of system as I buy a software, I plug in on my HR, all my legal stuff, all my risk management stuff. It's all in one, and it's supposed to be streamlined to make it easier on whoever's going to handle that, like human resource. That's all I literally thought a system was. Yeah. And I thought it's kind of tweaked to that industry, but you kind of going in defining the gaps in between where we get in trouble.
Or it's really, if it's a business that's already going, it's chronicling your secret sauce, right? I need to tell you why. It's the reason why I believe Michael Jordan never tried to coach, because he can't really write that system down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could be the GM. Yeah. I can talk to my athletic director and he can talk to the coach and they can try to figure it out. But for me to just write down why I can jump from the free throw line, I mean, it's going to be a little hard.
I was like, he's the alien, but it's all good.
Exactly. And so kind of looking at systems from the standpoint of just duplicating and consistency, right? So when I travel, if I go to a place and there's not a restaurant that I know, I go to Longhorn. Why? Because it's the same no matter where I go.
Yeah.
It's consistent. Why? Because they have systems, right? That it's going. My steak comes out the same way, whether I'm in Poughkeepsie or I'm in Meridian, Mississippi. That don't matter. It's the same state.
Right.
And that's what makes a business really successful, is that you're consistent. We go to Chick-fil-A because, maybe we like the food, but more important, my water's always right. My food is always hot.
Yeah.
They always put napkins in there. And they actually act like they want to be there.
Exactly.
And it's consistent.
Yeah.
And so I'll sit in the 20-minute line for the consistency. And so when you build systems like that for your business, you allow the consumer to depend on you. So as your price goes up, it doesn't really matter, right? So, we have to pass through fuel costs and all these other costs that come to us as business owners. If we don't have that level of consistency, the customer will squawk as soon as our price go up.
How often should you tweak your system? Is it just based off the pure numbers?
Yes.
Is it you just mentioned economic factors,
Yes.
but how about things that relate to like the moral shift, the environment, climate?
Sure. Anything exterior. So what happens is, after we build a system, we build KPIs, and KPIs are key performance indicators, right? If I'm doing what I'm supposed to, this should happen.
Right.
If I get to the end of the quarter and that didn't happen, we go and look. What went off, right? And so now, since I have a system, did that work? Yep. Did that work? Yep. Did that? Oh, that's where it was. Okay.
So
and now we pull it out and we dissect it and we figure out what went wrong.
That's pretty good.
We put it back together, put it back into the system, and then next quarter we'll see whether it worked or not.
And you missed that when you in that bottleneck,
of course,
situation a lot.
Because you have so many things coming to you. So many
things coming into you. You don't know what to filter. All you know is I paid the bills. I'm still alive. It's going to get better. Well, you just having faith in everything.
Think about it this way.
Everything's getting paid. I'm good.
I'm good.
Listen, the young lady I was telling you about, by the time we finish building her practice out, she'll have between 65 and 70 systems.
Wow.
Yeah. And so anyone who comes in can just open the book, and I don't care what it is you need to do. Okay. You just flip a page and it tells you straight down, here's what you do. Right. And I just need to make sure that they have the capability of doing it.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
That's good, bro. That's good.
And your fourth, the E, which is in the order acronym, it says educate
and
empower.
That's it.
Elaborate on that.
So when you are leading a business properly, you are empowering your people all the time, right? So quick story. When I was doing a project up at the Oaks Mall, I had an assistant and 5 or 6 employees. And I was standing up there and they were all talking. And so one of the young ladies asked my assistant, hey, how do we get XYZ? And she says, well, just look it up on your iPad. And I turned to her and I said, they have iPads? And she said, yeah. And I was like, I didn't know that. And she turned to me and said, you know everything you need to know. And I said, exactly. Don't bother me with things I don't need to know.
Exactly.
I empowered her to make decisions. And so and she has a budget. So if I trust her and she's running the team and they needed iPads, I trust her. So she doesn't have to come and ask. But if I don't understand that, she has to come and ask. And then she has to justify why. And then I have to go look and see if I believe in her justification. And if research I just lost $10,000 in all that time I'm spending on something that does not drive my company forward.
Exactly.
It does not. So why would I do that? So I'm going to empower. So the team I had in Atlanta was 11. And for 5 years, I never did scheduling. I never did. They all did it among themselves because I empowered them to do that. All I need to know is that when I get here, there's somebody standing here. I don't care if it's the same person 163 days in a row. Yeah. It's just when I get here, it better be somebody here.
It was a story.
Before you go, is all that in your playbook?
No doubt.
Okay.
It was a story you told me not too long ago. I can't remember what it was. Which one was that? That you were somewhere and the guy was asking you a question.
Oh, the operations director.
Yeah. What was that again?
So what it was is back to the Oaks Mall. The operations director came to me one day. He says, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." He said, "What do you do?" He said, "I see your assistant. I see your team. I see everything they do. But what do you actually do? And I said, man, do you know that is the best compliment anybody's ever paid me in my whole career? Because if you can't figure out what I do, then that means my team is totally empowered.
Yes.
They're totally empowered.
Yeah.
So, because if you see me out there doing it, there's an issue.
Big time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. So you empower, because that's the only way you can get to R. Right? Which is replace yourself.
That's what.
That's the dream, right there.
That's the dream. But here's the thing: if we went through this program and you were serious about it, it would take 100 days. 100 days, I could have you down to a 2-day work week, just 2 days, because we'll build the systems. Because what happens is a lot of times, especially as an exceptional person, you have really great ways of doing things.
Oh yeah.
And then all you do is find people who are excited by doing great things. Okay. And they're like, dude, that is so dope. Let me do that. Yep. Here you go. Here you go.
Have you ever run across people that's scared to relinquish that torch?
Yes.
To other people?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It just takes time.
Yeah.
Right. So I had a dad who'd started the company. He had it for 18 years. His son worked in the company, but didn't really have a C-suite title. He was just maybe like a mid-level manager.
Right.
And so dad was considering retiring. And so he hired us to come in and transition his son into the CEO role. And so spent a lot of time talking to dad so I can kind of get his mindset, talk to the son. And so I said to the son, I said, okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a smooth sailing until the last 60 days, because he's going to realize that last couple of fingers had to come off the wheel, and he's going to get grabby.
Yeah.
He's going to question everything you do.
Oh yeah.
He's going, he's just going to get grabby, because he realizes that, man, 2 more fingers and my hand completely off this thing. Right? You get to 10 months, what happened? Exactly that.
That same situation was explained yesterday with the construction group.
Oh yeah.
The father has his office.
Yeah.
He wants to slow it down. The son has a total different idea.
Sure.
They clipped the relationship.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
It still falls on him, but he'll inherit whatever daddy has. But as you say, he clipped the relationship.
Yeah.
And he went out on his own. Yeah.
But the son is all on billboards and doing it and advertisement. I'm like, well, where's the father? He's kind of staying in his hole. And I feel like, I say that's kind of like me. That's kind of like me a little bit.
So if we were in that scenario, right? And even just to tie off that one with the son and the dad, not only did the son not have any C-suite positioning, he had no shares of the company. None.
Right.
By the time we smoothed everything out, not only was he the CEO, he owned 80% of the company.
Wow.
That's good.
Right. But that comes from sitting down and really going deep into what each of them wanted. And so it was more for dad to understand that the vision of what he built would still be accomplished. But what I had to explain to him is that if I say to you, Simon, you and I are going to meet in Gainesville, instead of you arguing about going up 301 or 27 or I-75 or 441, let's just agree that we're going to meet in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's where people get hung up, because it's just the way that they don't see it going the way that they saw it. And so it could put resistance in that.
You gave us 5 steps to break down order. How important is it to complete each step? Can you skip one?
No. So we're building this as a self-guided platform, and each module is gated. So you can't leave O until you finish O.
Yeah.
R won't even it'll be gray. And until you complete it, then it'll light up R. And the reason why is because we tend to do that, right? We tend to skip steps or look ahead, or man, I already know this. And you do that.
That's why I asked it.
Right. Well, but the problem is sequence, right?
Uh-huh.
Because think about this: water, flour, and shortening will make bread. It'll also make paste.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you go out of order, your bread tastes like paste.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So you have to structure it, and that's probably the hardest part. If you ask me, and I'm sure you were thinking about it, of the 5, what's the hardest? It's owning your clock, because we're used to being disrupted. We're in the disruptive culture. Right?
The clock means so good. I can understand when an employee get hired, he don't understand how easy it's been made for him because he's given structured time, structured duties, an outline of this is what you're going to do in this day in between that particular time.
But it's rare that happens, though, right? And unless you're in a business that has higher stakes, like you're a nurse or a doctor or something like that. The average person, as I said, when you start a business, I had a pressure washing business for 5 or 6 years when I was in Atlanta. And we used to go out in the field and do work out there. And I'm thinking, man, it's a little hard. Why are we working this hard? So what I did is I went and partnered with a chemical company. And I could tell them what it was I was trying to get out. And those guys would be thrilled because that means they go create something, right? And they create something, they give it to me. I go to wherever it was. Like one time I was the highway jacks that they used to put the supports on highways. They had all this grease on it. And even if you had a hot water unit, it wouldn't get it off. Yeah, so I just scraped some of it, put it in the tube, took it to the chemist. And he's like, give me 3 weeks. 3 weeks later, go in there. My price was 5 times anybody in the market. Why? Because I could get it off. So I'm not working hard. I'm doing hard work. Yeah. But I'm not working hard.
Well, who would have thought about going to the chemist?
Nobody.
Who would have thought about going to the chemist?
We pressure wash commercial, residential, and industrial trucks and tractor trailers, right?
Yep.
And so we have a chemical that we use that we've been using for a while. It's called ZAP.
Yep.
And they have different forms of that.
Sure.
And so it works great. Sometimes back in the day, they used to use chlorine on everything.
Yeah.
And it killed everything.
Of course.
A lot of people was like, no, we can't
use
that.
Grass.
And your grass. But what you just said was like an eye-opener. Like, are you serious? You got to go to the chemist and they drop you something that you can just...
Let me tell you this. So I went to this lady's house and she had this big old driveway. And she said, how much you charge me to clean this driveway? I said, $300.
Exactly.
She was like, what? Everybody else said $99. I said, okay. So I go pull my rig off. I spray a pre-treat on the ground, on the concrete, and I clean the square.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you get anyone here.
Do it like
that. I can do that. I'll do it. This and your house free.
Exactly.
I'll do it free. And so I get there. She called me about 2 weeks later, come back, and there's like 8 squares. And they're telling her, there's no way he got this clean. He's using sulfuric acid and all. And and there was, of course, none of that. And then she said, she said, sir, no one could get it that clean. Okay. And so we cleaned it. And of course, by the time we get to the end, this neighbor and that neighbor and that neighbor.
Word out.
Well, they just saw me doing it.
Saw you doing it. Yep.
So they're like, hey, I want mine to look like that.
Exactly.
And so we did that. But why was that? Well, because we developed a system on how to get a driveway to the point where I'm telling you, if you put your hand down there, it would go like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, yeah.
It was so clean, right? But that allowed us 2 things. One, I didn't have to come back for a year. And then 2, anybody who saw it would wonder how it got that clean.
That's good. That's really good.
I'm learning on the fly. And I'm going back to the owning your clock of time. Yep. And it makes sense why you say you make sure they box in, because you can't do no system with a chaotic mind.
Correct.
You got to take chaos out of it with your time.
So you know what the main challenge is in owning your clock is you have to make decisions. Right. People like making choices. They don't like making decisions. Yeah. And the difference being a decision is no other option.
Can't control your time. What the hell can you control?
Yeah. So I decide that, like for example, when I get up in the morning from 6 to 7:30 is my big, fat, crazy, wild, hairy idea time. So I spend an hour and a half on ideas to make a $60 billion company.
Right.
But I dedicate time to it. So I can have fun and I can just do all kinds of things. And then, 7:30 hit is on to whatever's next in that square. Gotcha. But you start doing that, and what you'll find is that your ability to do deep work, which is where you really make money, right? Is the longer I can think about something, the better.
I found out that the time for me is like if I go to bed at a certain time, right, at nighttime. I probably fall asleep if I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'll fall asleep about 10:30. Now my time clock wakes me back up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, wow.
So you're a
I'm
6-hour guy.
I'm back up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I find myself in my office. And so when I'm in my office, I find that's my peaceful time.
Yep.
Where I can work on my devotions, I can work on my business, different things I got going on.
Yep.
I can do a whole lot of things within that time frame because there's nothing else out here to distract me.
That's right.
And so if I get up, and then when I don't do it like that, when I don't manage my time like that, guess what happens? It's chaotic.
Yep.
Very chaotic. I wake up in the morning time. If I don't wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I get up at 7. It starts out chaotic. All right, we got to be here at 8. You got to be there at 8:30. You got to be there at 9. And everything's all over the place. I didn't get my chance to get my devotions. We're
gonna work on the with you on your time.
Okay? Well, and it really starts with your willingness to follow yourself.
Yeah.
For about a week.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a sheet, and you just write down everything that you do. And then what you're going to find is that there's just gaps, and things that have dead time, right? Yeah. Like I don't do non-money making things doing money making time, right? So from 9 to 5, I'm not going to answer email. I'm not going to do these things that don't have anything to do with me moving forward.
Gotcha.
Right. And so if you're insistent on that,
and you be feeling that way when you're in that bottleneck because everybody pulling at you. You got to answer.
But see, what you do though is you also set boundaries. So like for example, when you get to know me better, what you'll know is if you need something from me, you text.
Right.
Okay. Right. If you call, I'll pick it up. Because anybody who knows me knows if you need something from me, text.
Right.
So you can call 5 times in a row, and I'm gonna get to you when I get to you.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm weird like that because I think I'm more of a person like if they call me, I need to answer that phone call. That type of thing. I'm learning now that when you call me, if I'm doing something, I'll get back to you eventually.
But that's
always takes after when I see your phone call, I say, listen, I'll get right back with you. Or I hate people that don't tell me that they're gonna get back with me. If I call you and you don't say, call you right back. He's good at that. He'll call you right back in a meeting, call you right back. So I like people that call that if I call you or something like that and you just say, call you right back or I'll get back with you. It helps me out a lot.
Well, and so that is your relationship with that particular person. Yeah. Right? Like my kids have a son and a daughter, call their mama probably twice a week, every week.
Right.
I talk to my kids probably once a quarter. That's all dad requires.
Right.
Now, if they want something, they'll call. My son will call me riding home from work, like, hey, Pop, what's up? And we'll talk as long as you want to talk. I've talked to my daughter for as long as 4 hours. Okay?
Right.
Well, I'm going to give her all she wants.
I'm the same with
I'll give her all she wants, but call me when you need to.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm the same.
Right. And so that's how you build those boundaries. But same thing works in business. Your clients they call you a lot because they can get you.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because you'll answer.
Right.
If you put space in there, they'll call when you say call.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You kind of answer a lot of questions as the conversation kind of flowed.
Sure.
But what's the difference between the growth and the scale?
So growth is a product of efficiency, right? The more efficient I am at delivering a product or service, the more of that product or service I can deliver. So it grows. My capacity grows. Scaling is how many places I can do that in. So Gainesville, Ocala, Jacksonville, St. Augustine. So I'm scaling now.
What kind of businesses from your experience that you know without a shadow of a doubt, especially with this new AI, that industry-wide would be good for someone newer to business to come in that can give them that growth and scale? Because when I think of service like what Calvin doing, it's like, okay, he's a handyman. I don't see the scale part.
Yeah, he can't do it without an army. Without an army. But so you know what I would say is go back to the basics, right? I had a couple once who were in their early 50s and they said, we real healthy and kind of afraid our pension might not go long enough. So we need to start a business. And I said, have you ever run anything? They're like, no. Have you ever owned anything? They said, no. And I said, then I'm going to build a business. What do you mean you're going to build it? We can't choose? No. Based on what? Right? So guess what I gave them? an ice cream store.
Exactly.
Because all you have to do is this. No college degree, no high skilled employees. I could take that anywhere in the world. They know what ice cream is.
And, I'm gonna piggyback off of what Simon just said. I'm gonna clarify this. A handyman company is not just a handyman company.
Sure.
Okay. It's not just somebody that's going out there doing handyman work. Mm-hmm. I do remodels. Mm-hmm. I do handyman work when it comes time for handyman work. So the base of the company is based on basically like it's an overall service for people, mm-hmm. but it's an overall service that can do multiple things for people, big things for people. You get it? So it's a difference between a handyman and a handyman company.
Oh, of course.
So that's a difference. Of course.
Well, and the thing is, all of it stems from you understanding what you do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because why do I pay the guy who cuts my grass? Right? Is it because I can't cut my grass? Yeah, I could cut my grass, but I come to realize in the 45 minutes to an hour
that it takes
that I can make $500
right
and pay him $100. Exactly. I'm gonna take that swap every time. But if you don't understand it that way, right. He's a bill. But he's not a bill. He's a seed.
He's a seed.
Yeah.
He's a seed. He's a seed.
Yeah. By planting that seed, I now get the freedom and the time because I built systems to make 4 times what I'm paying him.
Exactly.
So if you look at it that way, your employees are supposed to be assets. They're never supposed to be a liability. So if the person that you hire can't return to you the wage that you're paying them plus 25%, wrong person.
Exactly.
It's just that simple. But if you don't know how to quantify that, then you cycle through people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. On the Kevin I mentioned earlier about delegation, at what point do most people find you for your services? Is it at the beginning, when that delegation is struggling, but yet the stress levels where they temper about the bus, that they say, I need you.
Most often there. I mean, so bad that I have.
Is that way you rather have it there?
Well,
you feel
I'd rather
feel the
start
pressure
from the beginning,
okay?
Right? Because they'll never get there,
right? If it's at the beginning,
correct.
Based off of you going through your process,
mm-hmm.
Do you require not only the money for your services, but is there a certain level of income you would recommend for one to have to get started? Because when I started, it was pressure. I just went through an event
mm-hmm.
and said, I got to do something.
Sure.
I just went for it. And I was like, I knew I could have did it before. I was just trying to hold on. And then it worked. And then all of a sudden it grew. I started telling my brother, he always say, I always say this here. I say, we great hustlers,
right?
But we didn't turn into business owners.
Sure. Well, and that's it, right?
When I hear you talk about the 2 father and son duo with stocks,
sure.
I'm like, in our communities, we normally, it's stuck into that small business. And it'd be hard to get over that.
But here's the thing, even a step before that, mm-hmm. the problem in our community more than anything is we don't understand what money's for.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Because if someone tells me, man, I just bought me a $2 million watch, my conversation ends with that.
It's over.
Right? Because you have no sense of what money does. Okay. And so there's no, and so coming up, the reason why I worked so hard when my son said, Pop, you were gone a lot, is because my stepdad worked full time at the Washington Post in the print room. And then on weekends, he worked at a liquor store down the street. So only day he didn't work was Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I grew up my whole life watching that. I thought that's just what you did.
Right.
Right? I mean, so that's why then during the summer, they sent me down to my grandpop, and he was a farmer. So it was all about hard work in the field, then taking it to the farmer's market and selling it. And Pop always had a big old roll of cash.
Not Pop.
And he always had a new truck. He had 11 kids and they were homeowners.
Right.
Okay. He could support 11, and grandma didn't work. So I'm thinking, so that's the way. Yeah. So I had my first business at 9.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
I got two closing questions.
Yes, sir.
And one is, what are the 3 biggest concerns you see that businesses have?
One, They don't understand what they do. Right? Or no, let me back that up. They don't understand what their business is for. They understand what they do. Right?
Understanding what their business for versus what
they do.
They do. And
right. So when he goes to a house to remodel, he may say, they want me to redo the kitchen, new cabinets, new floors, new windows, and everything. Is that what that's for? Or is that what you're there to do? What it's for is looking at that husband whose wife has been on him for 5 years about that house. That's what this is for. And so I'm going to lean more of my services in that direction.
Exactly.
Okay. Of him getting her off his back.
And I thank God for that one. I want to say that wholeheartedly because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'll get it because I get that factor. I get if you go to a homeowner's house and the wife wants that bathroom done, that kitchen done, you're bringing forth joy to that wife, but you're also bringing forth joy to that husband too.
Right.
So basically I talk to both of the clients, the husband and the wife team. Some people go in there and be like, I got to do the kitchen remodel, I got to do this bathroom, here's the price. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And when I did my brother's, I call him my brother, Simon, my brother. When I went and did his bathroom, like I said, I met him at the car wash and some time ago. And he said, "You do bathroom?" I said, "Yeah." So I went and did his bathroom. I couldn't put my name on a couple of things that happened in there. That's what attracted to me because of my integrity.
Sure.
So my integrity is what brought us closer together. That's the type of thing you want in your business, man.
No doubt. No doubt. And then the second thing is a scarcity mentality, right? A poverty mentality. Here's what I mean. I go get a contract for 50 grand. First thing I'm thinking is I'm going to pay off my car. I'm going to pay off my credit card. I'm going to get them student loans. That's a poverty mentality because you're afraid it's not going to come again. So you're going to take all of that money and throw it at problems.
I throw that in something.
Whereas the proper way to do it is to say, how do I take this 50K and make sure that I get this 50K every month?
Exactly.
Okay. I don't care if I get kicked out of my house. I don't care if I get, I told my wife, listen, a cardboard box under the bridge, it suits me fine.
Right.
As long as I know I'm going in the right direction, right? But we get caught into things.
Right.
And so we think, I got to have this, I got to have that. But a wealth mentality understands that income follows assets. So if that cash isn't producing an asset, income ain't going to follow it.
That's beautiful.
You're just going to burn right through it.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, you're just going to burn right through it.
Beautiful.
And then the third thing is just humbleness.
This humbleness.
You just got to be willing to learn. That
learning never stops.
Well, sure. Sit down. If we sat down with your dad, and I told him about a business problem I had. He don't know anything about me. He don't know anything about my business, but the wisdom, that he has that got him to where he is, will always be applicable.
Yeah.
But we so internet savvy AI. I had this girl tell me she was making a career decision off a ChatGPT recommendation. I say, girl, please, you scare me.
Yeah,
you scare me.
That is scary.
But you have to be humble enough to get to where you ultimately want to go. I mean, if you want to be a person that's making 8, 9, 10 figures, you need to be in a place where those people are, and then keep your mouth shut and listen.
Yeah.
Okay. And
surround yourself with like-minded people.
And they were open doors for you based on what you know, right? And the more you know, like for example, if you were trying to build an apartment complex, right? I got a client that's doing that now, and it's going to cost her $52 million.
Mm-hmm.
So when she goes to find, there's a senior debt, there's going to be some sort of mezzanine debt, and then there'll be an equity, right? What she puts in. When she goes to get the mezzanine, if she doesn't call it by the right name, that company will say no every time. I don't care what her credit score is. She's going to say, it's because I'm black. No, because you're going to lose my money.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that this is a value add mezzanine, then I know you're going to lose my money because you didn't know that.
Right.
You see, so you put yourself in the rooms to get the knowledge to now go and move to the next level.
Got you, bro.
From our perspective, as in the culture, black people.
Sure.
We've always touted that, say they don't let us in those rooms. I've been guilty of saying that it's harder to get into that room. Or you got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody to get you in that room.
Yes and no.
Clarify that.
Yep. Yes and no. The reason why you don't get into that room is because the entrance into that room is tied to my name. So as you and I talk, see, I'm in that room, and you and I talk. I'm thinking, is he going to get me into, help me get into the next room, or regret bringing him into this room? And then just from what you're talking about, I'm like, okay, so I can't really take you into this room.
Right.
Right. Maybe we'll start over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you work, because at a certain level, it's your name.
It's your name.
It's your name.
That's
and so everybody you attach is your name. And that's why they don't get into the room.
I love that analogy. I love that analogy.
I love that.
I want to
that was well neat.
I need to piggyback off that just for a brief second.
Sure.
The reason why I say I love that analogy is because some people you can't take in the room.
That's right.
You know, so you'll peep those people out for a brief second. You'll figure out what their character is. And then once you figure out what their character is, you'll understand that they're very well rounded. They can come into this room.
Yep.
That had to happen to me many times.
Yep.
And so but for me, it's certain people in my life that I say, I can't bring that person to this room, you know. And sometimes it's us, and then the ones that I do have in my circle that I say, okay, I know I can bring him into this room because he know how to carry himself, and he would not attach something to my name that's going to deplete me. That's the type of thing that I do.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
So one of my mentors, you know, he calls me up one night and he says, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm watching ESPN." He said, "I need you to come and go to a dinner with me." I was like, "When?" He's like, "Now." I was like, "Now? Where is it?" And he told me where it was. So I pull up on the internet and I'm looking. I was like, "Dude, that's his black tie. I got to put a tux on?"
Yeah.
He said, "Boy, this old Ocala. Just put a suit on." You'll be fine. Right? So I get there and I go in and all these muckety mucks, and it, you know, wasn't much black in there other than me and shoes, right? but
the tuxedo.
But in that room, I met every senator, every House member, and at the time, Rick Scott was the governor, and he did this. He said, "Hey, Rick," he yelled all the way across the room. The governor stopped what he was doing and walked over.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I turned to him and said, "Now, what in the world
you got going on?"
Never mind, you called him by his first name.
Yes.
He stopped what he was doing.
Over.
And walked over. And when he came over, guess what he said? This my young boy right here, man. He good. You need to take a picture with him. He's like, "Okay." Took that picture and went on back to what he was doing. That part.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. That some of the doors have been opened up for me, and a lot of people don't understand it. But when it opens up for me, I'm very selective of who I bring through the doors with me.
Have to be,
because if I'm not selective, I understand that my name is attached to the person that brought me through the door.
That's right.
Okay, and then whoever I bring through the door with me, their name is attached to me now.
Sure.
So I have to be very selective of what I do, and that's and truth be told, my circle is very tight.
Yeah.
You know. So
and just the last point on that is, understand the game you're getting in.
Yes.
Understand it. Yes. Okay. If you don't, you're just going to get devoured.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And you'll be done. Right. But I had a situation where I'd helped a senator out, and he invited me to a dinner at, you know, so-and-so's house, some 20,000 square foot crib.
Oh, yeah.
Look, this place was so bad. When I went through the gates, the GPS said 7 minutes to the house. Okay. He was on that much land. I went through his front gate and it still was 7 minutes to the house. Okay.
Yeah. I remember saying Creflo Dollar crib.
But he lived right down the street.
Way out.
Oh yeah.
Down the street from But the thing was, is that as I got in there, of course, the question was, "So how do you know the senator?" Right? You know, code for it. Hey, I'm the only brother in there. So they trying to figure out, how you in here? This is like $1,500 a plate. Yeah. Right. Anyway, but what I understood, because I took my wife with me, because I said, I want you to see how the game lays out.
How it's laid out. Yeah.
Okay, so what's going to happen is, because I'm there, everyone who wants to know why I'm there will give me a card.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so they'll say, "Hey, we're not even gonna have any conversation." They're just gonna come up to me and say, "Hey."
Exactly.
Because you're in this room.
Exactly.
So I know there's a level of something that got you here.
Exactly.
So let's go have a private conversation.
Yes.
And I said, so from that point, I have to decide whether I want to play that particular game or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you don't understand what it is, you get sucked in.
You get sucked in,
and before you know, you're in places you wish you hadn't been.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
And my last questions is for all three of us. If your business ran without you, because order is all about having your business be able to function without you,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What would you build next?
Oh, man.
Sky's the limits for me. I don't even know. I mean, that's just my mindset. The sky's the limits for me. If I had my companies run by themselves and they were running efficiently and making money, I would sit back and start something else. I mean, that's as big and small with me.
I got two words for you. Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened. You took a man who was probably the best systems builder there ever has been and fully funded.
Yeah.
Let me give you another one.
I get
Michael Jordan. Why has a man who just bought a race team in 7 races won 5? Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because he is a winner who is fully funded.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
He's a winner who's fully funded.
Yeah.
So once everything's running on its own, that's made him 3, 4, 5 billion.
Yeah.
I can turn all my attention on this.
Yes. Yeah.
And so now he's won 5 of 7 races. The first time that's ever happened.
Well, that opens why the Elon Musk and the people that are billionaires, when we ask what they build next, and I think I got this from you. Yeah, but they build upon their leadership.
Yep.
Their strategic thinking by not being bottlenecked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Opens up more. And whether we like Elon Musk or not, at the end of the day, he does create products that serve others.
Oh, for sure. And that's the only way to get there. But I mean, as I said,
create products.
When you hear all of those personality things, man, these are all smoke screens. It's like if someone ever started a conversation with you saying that the rich don't pay enough, walk away. Yeah, because that's just a diversion.
Yeah, that's a diversion.
And they don't really understand what's going on. Right?
Yeah.
So just walk away.
They don't understand.
Yeah, just walk away. So whether you like the person,
understand
or don't like
the game
the
of
person,
the tax code.
yeah. Donald Trump took a $1 billion loss on the Taj Mahal. So he ain't gonna pay taxes for the rest of his life.
You better believe it.
Okay.
You better believe it.
And people go, "Oh, I can't believe you don't pay tax." Okay, lose $1 billion and you'll see what happens.
You'll see what happens. The thing is, they know how to play the system.
Of course.
Okay, so many of us don't understand the system. So when we don't understand the system, we don't know how to play the game.
Yep.
But once you learn the system, you learn how to play the game. That way, you get into the system. You're able to make wealth and use the money as a tool to help other people along the way.
That's it. But that's the bigger point, right? If you start with helping other people, the rest of it will fill itself out. So think about this. Jeff Bezos was so obsessed with you getting something you bought on his marketplace as quick as possible. He developed a delivery system in the cloud called AWS.
Right.
That last year made it the largest volume business in the world. They did $778 billion off of his desire to make sure you got your stuff as fast. And they produced something that made him that. If he was trying to build a $700 billion company, he would not.
Yeah.
It works. it works. Whatever he does, it works. Because anytime somebody tell me a good book, I order, and my wife be like, "Why you keep ordering books? You don't even read half of them." I say, "I will get to them." I said, "But this is the reason why."
Audiobooks.
I'm ordering my books. But anyway, I appreciate you coming through.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I definitely have an understanding of what order is. And if I can get some order, I can think about when I'm going to build next.
Yeah, exactly, right.
I appreciate you.
I know we can get some.
This is Common Hood. Hit that like and subscribe. We out.
Amen.